August 2nd, 2018. Welcome to the Third Down Show, guys. I'm your host, T. Wayne the Don. Another good day to talk to y'all guys one more time. Listen, football is officially back tonight. I don't know about y'all. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson versus Mitch Trubisky tonight on Thursday Night Football for the Hall of Fame, getting ready for the preseason. So football is officially back on. We officially back and running all the way to the road to the Super Bowl, and it starts tonight with preseason kicking off. Talk a little bit about that game. I told you it's time to talk about our division. I didn't get a chance to rank the conference yet. I think I'm going to get probably at the end when I finish with the NFC South. Talk about the conference. NFC East is what we're talking about. I call it the most prestige conference in the NFL. I'm going to tell you why after a while. Talk about week 1 matchups in college football coming up September the 2nd, I believe. I might have the dates wrong. But anyway, I'll give you some of the best games that I got going so far. And then I'm going to talk about, of course, LSU Miami, since we are in South Louisiana. That is, shout out to my dad, Todd Sr. That is his favorite team, the Miami Hurricanes. And my favorite team is the LSU Tigers. So we're going to talk a little bit about them to close them out. And then we're going to finish with Urban Meyer and his scandal. And I think Urban knew about the abuse from one of his ex-coaches that he just recently fired, and how that's going to affect the Ohio State Buckeyes this season. And it's Ohio State's curse when it comes down to having great head coaches. It makes you wonder a little bit. So let's talk about Bears, Ravens tonight. Kicks off, I think, at 7. Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio tonight. Lamar Jackson, we're going to finally get to see Lamar Jackson in a pro game. We also going to probably see a little bit of Robert Griffin. I think the biggest man in this game tonight will have to be Robert Griffin III. I said this on Twitter a few days ago. I think Robert got something to prove to everybody in the NFL. Let everybody know that he still got something in the tank. And even this not a place where he's going to probably be the starter to a degree. I think Robert Griffin is trying to show teams that's probably on the cuffs on the verge for next season that he can still play. He come in at a high level and possibly compete for the starting quarterback spot for in any team in the NFL. Now, as of right now, I think everybody, until we get to the end of the season, I don't look at nobody who really gonna need a quarterback. I guess my main team that possibly might be looking for a quarterback next year will probably be the Miami Dolphins. I don't know how much more they're going to put up with Ryan Tannehill over there, but that's another discussion once we get more in depth with the season. And Robert Griffin got something to prove. Robert Griffin still trying to show he's a productive starter in the NFL. So I'm looking forward to see what Rob going to do tonight. Lamar Jackson, definitely what I really want to see tonight was what they're going to do offensively, how much they're going to work around him, his skill set. I also want to see how much he has developed as a true pocket passer, how much he has worked on his footwork, 2-step, 3-step, 5-step drop back guy. I also want to see what have he done to elevate his game besides being the athletic freak in the backfield. My partner always tell me all the time, he said, he never felt Lamar Jackson was up to the height. He was a great player with Michael Vick's skill sets, but wasn't a great pro player. And I think to a degree, when you put on the film against Clemson, you put on the film against Florida State, you put on the film against LSU, LSU had, tons of NFL talent on that defense that year in the Citrus Bowl about 2 years ago, and they beat this boy down. This kid can throw swing passes, for God's sakes. I really want to see how much he has grown in a matter of months to become a better all-around guy and really show that one day he can lead the Baltimore Ravens to potentially a Super Bowl. Fight in that division in the AFC North. Make the Ravens relevant again. Because like I said, I think at the end of the day, this is what's, Joe Flacco is still your starting quarterback. Harbaugh trying to save his job by potentially starting the process with Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson is the future for the Baltimore Ravens. And I think that's the biggest headlines of the night. Mitch Trubisky got a lot to show as well. My buddy think Mitch Trubisky going to be the next Alex Smith. And if he is, that's not bad, because Alex Smith still make the Pro Bowl. He's a productive game manager quarterback. in the NFL. I think now he's getting older in his older years. I think he could probably potentially take his game to another level, but since he's older, wiser. But Mitch Trubisky, I want to see if he's getting any better. Because like I said about the NFC North last week, is that the Bears are looking to me, if they can find themselves 7-9, 8-8, I'll even give them more 6-10, but at least 7-9, 8-8 by the end of the season. That's a production going into next year. How much can we compete in this division to now take that next step to get into the playoffs? So I think if I'm a Bears fan tonight, I want to see how much Mitch has grown up. He probably won't play too long, but play long enough to just give the fans some type of hope going into week 1 this season and going in for the next 16 weeks of football to finish out the year of December. Something I'm looking forward to tonight. Like I said, I'm very excited. Football is officially back and running. It's good to now know that Sundays will no longer be boring. You know, it'll be it's gonna be back to normal for the next 17. Actually, you want to put these 4 weeks with it, that'd be what, 23 weeks? Really? Something like that? 22 weeks. Next 22 weeks, it's going to be all right. Let's go ahead on, including the playoffs as well. So let's go ahead on. Like I said, we deal in division every week. We are on our 6th division. Only 2 more left to do. That'll be the West and the NFC South. We're going to finish out naturally with the NFC South. So next week, we'll do the West. This week is the NFC East. And this week is the NFC East. Now, like I said, I think this is the most prestige division in football history. For the simple fact is that every team in this division have a world title. The Cowboys have 5. The Redskins have 3. The Eagles finally got their first world title. And the New York Football Giants have 4 world titles. That give you a grand total of 13 championships between these 4 teams. Congratulations to the NFC East. This has got to be a major accomplishment because there's been no other division to do that. A lot of teams has come close. Most recently, the NFC South. Carolina Panthers could have won the Super Bowl against the Broncos. They would have had their first. And then the following year, if the Atlanta Falcons could have done it, they would have had their first. Then each team in that division would have had a Super Bowl. Now, probably, it's sad, I'm going to say this before I finish with them. The NFC South has to be probably one of the worst divisions over history because all 4 teams really haven't been that good in history. Probably the better ones out the 4 will have to probably be the Carolina Panthers because they're younger. But the Falcons, the Saints, and the Buccaneers was all laughing stocks at one point in time. And they say they all have Super Bowl appearances, and some multiple and some one. That's pretty good for that division. But no, only 2, the Buccaneers and the Saints, only have world titles. Crazy. But back on the NFC East, like I said, 13 teams, there's 13 world titles between the 4 of them. Very impressive. Let's talk about the quarterback play, man. Dak Prescott got a new team. We officially have moved on from the Tony Romo era, and he have a new team, new weapons. No Dez Bryant, no more Jason Witten. Wow, this is a whole new Dallas team. Alex Smith has a new team. Actually, he was traded, remember? Pat Mahomes now the guy in Kansas City. He's now, Alex Smith is the head man of the Redskins. Wentz, Foles. I couldn't leave out Nick Foles for the Philadelphia Eagles, what he did for the Eagles this past year. Ain't no telling if Nick Foles going to have to step back in this year. I doubt if Carson Wentz start to play down to what he done. But that ever make me wonder if he does start to play down. Do you put Nick Foles back in and kick just the hot man to come get you over to get you in the playoffs? And of course, the man in the division that is Mr. Division, I'll say he's the true leader of this division now would be Eli Manning. Eli Manning is back for another season for the New York Giants. So that's how I feel about this division right now, to be honest with you. I kind of expect there's going to be 3 teams in this division that's going to have a chance to fight for it. And Cowboy fans, I hate to tell you, you are not in my top 3 at all. My top 3 would be the Redskins, the Eagles, and the Giants, who will have a chance to fight for this division. I think Dallas have too many questions to answer right now that they can't answer. I think they are, like I said, an era is over in Cowboy history. The Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, Jason Witten era is over. And if you ask me, I think the only way this is going to get better if they get rid of Jason Garrett next and start a new era with Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott and continue to draft well, add more pieces. I think they need to become more of a defensive culture program, something that they lack a little bit. I think that have affected how great their offense have been over the years by not just having a mediocre defense. Kind of what you see what happened with the Saints over the years, having great offense, great weapons, but their defense can't defend. That's a problem. I want to see because if you ask me, I think there's two teams in the NFL, especially in the NFC, that's just kind of staying where they at from last year. It's just going to be in the same funk how they was last year. And I think that's the Cowboys, and I think that's the Seahawks. I just don't see them getting better. I just see them staying at the same spot or potentially getting worse because I think the Cowboys have too many questions to answer. Unless they answer these questions early this season, maybe I can go back and change my theory about them having a chance to win this division. But if you ask me, I think only one team from this division going to get in the playoffs, and nationally that's going to be the division winner. I kind of put Washington over Dallas because I think new face, new culture for Alex Smith, new place. I think he's really going to help them boys play at a higher level. I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins didn't when he was there. I just think Kirk Cousins knew he wasn't loved like that. Alex Smith is loved like that over there. I think he's going to come in, play with a lot of weapons. They got Darius Geis there, who I think who's going to make a big impact in that division as a rookie, as long as he stayed healthy. They got other players over there. I think he's going to – this is going to be a fun team to watch. Like I say, if Washington find themselves the first 3-4 weeks 3-0, 4-0, let's just say the other couple of teams still find themselves in the mix, this is going to be a tough division between them three teams. I just don't think the Cowboys got the juice this year. I just don't really think so. The champ's going to be there, but like I told my buddy last night, I think Atlanta's going to set the tone with the Eagles because Atlanta got something to prove. You see, the Eagles was playing as the underdogs for so long, but now, to a degree, people know what the Philly is about. People about to take their best shots at Philly every single day. Nobody about to sit around and let them punch them. They about to punch Philly in the mouth quick and fast. So I really think a lot of people about to come at Philadelphia. I'm not saying they take a step back, but it wouldn't surprise me if another team in the division win this division. And if there would be two teams to make this division, make the playoffs, I think Philadelphia would be and probably be the second team. But I guess I say the division is open for three teams. And I say the Giants, the Eagles, and the Washington Redskins. If the Giants stay healthy and be on one accord with their defense and their offense, I don't see why the Giants can't find themselves in the mix at 11-5 and potentially win this division. I would say this. Young man said that he think, good friend, well, he's a friend of mine on Twitter, said that he think that Saquon Barkley going to be the next Reggie Bush career-wise. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to bring Saquon Barkley along slowly. And then I think probably about late October going into November, I think we're going to start seeing a transition on how he's going to be in his career in the NFL. I don't think he's going to be a day one hit. I think he's going to come along slowly. I think the Giants are going to take their time with Saquon Barkley. And once he get to hit a certain stride, I think he's going to show how good of a player that he really is in the NFL and what he's going to bring to the Giants and be the X factor between him and Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard. What they got? What's the other tight end name? I think O.J. Howard. No, not O.J. Howard. Yeah, O.J. Howard. No, Ingram. And they got Ingram. I'm sorry. They got Ingram. So it's going to be interesting to see what the New York Football Giants are going to do this year. They've been struggling at that running back position for years, and now they finally got a playmaker in the backfield. I think that's going to make a big difference for the New York Football Giants. Odell stay healthy, Eli stay healthy, their offensive line block for them. I don't see why they can't make a run back in the playoffs like they did a few years ago. And let's say Philadelphia they're the champs, they're the world champs. It's hard to repeat, but they like having that underdog mentality. Like I said, that Atlanta game to start the season is going to show so much on how many people are going to take shots at Philadelphia this year.